I will bless the Lord at all times, and his praise shall continually be in my mouth. I want to say good morning to everybody, and God bless you, all my brothers, all my sisters around the world this beautiful Saturday. My title says, Why Most Family Churches Stay Messed Up. Now, this is coming from the heart, and y'all know me. It's coming out of love. And I'm going to say some things in this video that's going to make a lot of people that's stuck up in family churches probably mad. But JT is not doing this video to make nobody mad. Trust me. I'm actually 3:30 this morning. I was around there visiting my mom, and big shout out to Mama JT. We stayed on the porch to 3:30 this morning talking about this, and I was led to kind of do a video on this just off of the conversation me and my mom was having. And if you grew up in a family church, or if you are in one right now, this video gonna make a lot of sense to you. And I'm gonna say this, man, family churches are the hardest churches to stay in and deal with, because you're dealing with what? Family. But everybody's church, family church might not be like this. I can't sit up and say all family churches are like this, but I know quite a bit of them, and I came out of one myself. Notice I said I came out of one. But my point that I want you to focus on in this video is the generations after generations, the children. And they won't do no better because they watched the grown folks who was in position in family churches do the same thing. They didn't do no better. And when you are in a family church, when there is no repenting, and people continue to just do the same thing, anything go on, you just like the lukewarm church in Revelation, you in the bad church, you're in the messed up church. And any time when God is not in it, it's time for you to leave. And the sad thing is, most people are going to follow kinfolks before they follow God. I know that's a little rough to say, but it's the truth. Because God don't want his children sitting up in confusion. And brother T, I hope you catching this video, man, because I'm answering some questions you asked me a while back. Family churches get a hold of you. They brainwash you. You might be the musician, you might be the next minister in line, whoever you are, the director, and you know what I'm talking about. And the thing is, it's family, and it's so hard to leave family because that's family. You love each other. Some can't stand each other. But the thing is, people continue Sunday after Sunday, things during the week they do, year after year after year. They continue to stay in a building where God is not even at no more. And I always ask people, who are you going to follow? The Lord or your kinfolks? Now, I can honestly say, and God knows I'm telling the truth, I grew up in a messed up church. But that didn't stop me from still being a minister of music I am today, serving God and standing on the truth. This is why I stand on the truth also harder than ever, because of what I grew up in and what I see people going through right now. I'm trying to help the next man and help the next woman. That's why I was very led to do this video this morning. Family churches continue to do the same thing, but it should bother you when you don't see nobody repenting, apologizing to the church. Think about a family. I did a video called "The Reason Why I Left My Family Church" a while back. And the thing is, in most family churches, they keep family in position. It might be the brother that's the pastor, but the family is the one running the church, not God. You need to get out them kind of churches. The pastor might be the brother, one brother, and then the oldest brother, he might be the head deacon. The other brother might be the minister of music. Another one might be another pastor. So on and so on. This one head of the usher board. Then the sisters are in control. So it's a brother and sister, nieces and nephew church. And if you don't fit in that, if you're not in that family, you're not really going to fit in that church. That's why family churches have a hard time letting other people do stuff. I'm talking about what I know, y'all. I done been in more than one family church. That's why I don't play at family churches. I had to leave it alone. When you start moving God out of the way and doing what you want to do, preaching what you want to preach, let anything go on, then it's time to move on. So think about this, while the older people are in position and they doing all they dirt, and then you got the nephews watching, you got the nieces watching, the cousins watching, the sons and daughters are watching all the mess. And they grow up and take over and do the same thing that they watched growing up. Yes, come on, y'all, keep it real. In a lot of churches, the ones in position have a lot of mess going on. It kind of reminds you of Eli and his sons. Have you ever read that in the Bible? Eli's sons were so wicked. They was just messing up the tabernacle, y'all. You would see this same stuff going on right now in churches. You see church fights. You see people stealing from each other. You see gossiping. You see men running women. You see women running men. You see messed up musicians. There is nothing new under the sun. It just keep repeating itself over and over. So the next generation, they look at this and they grow up, get in position, and do the same thing. Hey, man, shoot, Aunt ran these women. Remember Auntie, she was the biggest hoe of the church. So if she did it, nobody said nothing to her. Why not me? You showing the younger generation it's okay to keep doing mess. You showing the other generation you don't need to repent. Stay like you are. Be messy. It's sad, and the pastor don't do nothing at all about it. Eli should have put his sons in check. These pastors that got these pastors' daughters and sons in the ministry that's messing up the church, they need to put their sons and daughters in check. But how can you put them in check if you ain't in check? You ain't even following God. You the head, but you allowing everything to go on. Well, we know Christ is the true head, but you know what I mean. You the pastor, you the overseer, you the bishop. And you can't even get your own house in order. You don't supposed to be in the pulpit. Eli's sons had a lot of mess going on in the tabernacle. I remember this guy the other day. He watched his uncle growing up, head deacon. Couldn't quit messing with the women. He grew up. That was his thing when he was little. Man, I want to be like my uncle. That's what he told me. And when you are a child, you are younger, and you see that stuff, and you think it's okay because you don't even know right from wrong pretty much a lot of times yourself as a child. How many times have you heard a young man say, I want to be a pastor when I grow up? Man, I want to get me a Cadillac. I want to have women around me. I want that money. When I was growing up, it was either I want to be a rapper or I want to be a preacher. I want to be a pimp. I want to have a whole lot of money. And that's sad that so many people have made that impression on this is the way Christ is. Christ wasn't walking around begging for no money. Christ wasn't stuck on material things. And now it's so messed up in a lot of churches that only Christ can straighten it up when he come back. And I remember growing up, nobody repented at all for what they done. You would have think somebody would have came in front of the church and been like, I'm sorry, y'all, I messed up. I'm apologizing to the church. They just kept doing the same thing. And to this day, They still doing the same thing. Too many pastors' daughters, nothing against y'all, I love you, just telling the truth. Not all of y'all are like this, but there's too many pastors' daughters and sons are the ones keeping up so much mess in a lot of churches. Steady getting pregnant. Steady shacking up. But yet and still, she's over the choir. She's over the praise team. She's over the youth. She got a lot of hell going on in her life. But still, she's in position. He's the minister of music. Or he's the next preacher in line. He can't stop sleeping with the choir stand. The choir members. Messing around with the praise team members. He's my best, my number one deacon. But your deacon can't get his life right. He keep messing up, running women. Getting drunk. Hanging out all night. But still, early Sunday morning, he's the first one in the church. Nobody is repenting. Nobody. And here it is, you keep saying invite people to the church. You must repent. I'm talking out of love, y'all. You must stop that mess. Repent. And if you can't get it right, you need to sit down or be sat down. And you don't want God to sit you down. You got all this hell going on. And people are going to stay in those type of buildings year after year with the same mess. God Almighty. Am I talking to your church? And if you're not a part of the family and you join those type of churches, your ideas are shot down. But yet and still, the biggest lie they tell you is when you join the church. I'm so glad I'm a part of the body. I ain't stuck on being no member of nobody's church. You join a church, and the biggest lie they tell you is now we're extending you these benefits. You have the same rights as every other member in the church now. You are a member. It shouldn't even be like that. You should have the same thing whether you're a member or not. I done messed up by 20,000 Baptist churches by saying that. Oh, let's join church. Some of y'all want you to join just so they can and keep up with how much tithes you're going to put in. Got to keep track of them. Keep track of her. That's a heavy tithe bill. I'm stepping on toes, y'all. Truth hurt. The shoe fit, go ahead and put it on. Walk down the street with it. Truth got to be told. I'm not mad at nobody. Just speaking what's real. If I can help the next person. See, the best thing I've done was got out of my family church. I'm not going to continue to go where God is not. Same people in the same position. So when you see a pastor that don't address this stuff, he's a weak pastor or she's a weak pastor, they standing on nothing but lies. Don't even address the mess. They more concerned about their reputation, what people think, than God's word. They're not going to sit their own daughters down. They're not going to sit their family members down and take them out of position. That's a messed up church. That's why, once again, going back to what I was saying earlier, the next generation continue to take over and do the same thing as the older generation, pass on and die. How many family churches do you have sitting up right now and been operating for years, 20, 30 years, 40 years? And the older generation done took it over. I mean, the other generation, older people pass on, and that church is still the same. And you wondering why your niece acting like that. Why your nephew acting like that. Why did he become the preacher? He acting just like his daddy. He acting just like his uncle. She acting just like her big mama. She acting just like her auntie, who was sleeping around with all the men in the church. Nobody comes forward and address the sin. 6, 7 churches on one street. How many of them are family churches? I'm going to say this again out of love. Family church is one of the worst churches to attend. Oh yes. See, JT going to tell it like it is, y'all. So I want to have this real talk video this morning on this subject. I tell people all the time, y'all done heard me say this on here, the biggest blessing for me, the biggest blessing is when I left my home church. The hardest thing for people to do is to leave their family and other people that's in the church, because your feelings is so tied up in them. I love him, or I love these are my folks, man. These are the people I grew up around. They raised me. These people. Let me tell you something. Don't let those people lead you straight on into hell. I know it's hard to leave your family, church. But is it all that hard when God tells you it's time for you to go? My blessings started coming immediately when I left family churches. You can't get me to play in my family churches. You can't get me to go back home and be down there every week. No. I told my uncle that. That's out of the question. I don't care if it was the last church standing on earth. I wouldn't go. I'm not going where God is not at. I'm not going to confusion. I'm not going to stay up in mess. People go home from these family churches and gossip about them all day and all night. But yet it's still the ones that, oh Lord, let me keep it real. The ones that's gossiping go right back on in there every Sunday morning. Tired of the choir stand, but get right on up in the choir. Tired of being on the deacon board, but get right back on the deacon board. Tired of standing on the door ushering, but get right on that door faithfully on Sunday. Soon as church let out, complaining, gossiping. I'm going to close with this. Eli, you think of some of these pastors that allow this stuff to go on in their families. Think of Eli. Eli was a devoted high priest. He served Israel as a judge for about 40 years. Eli, once again, had them wicked sons. And if he would have done what God told him, the tabernacle would have got straightened up. And I believe, that's my personal opinion, Eli was more worried about this little reputation he had. If you are a man of God, holding a high position like Eli was, it should be about what God said. He knew what his sons was doing to destroy everything. He wouldn't sit them down. His sons was lusting. They was greedy. They was robbing the people. They was messing with the women. Sound like some of our kin folks, don't it? Sound like your uncle. Sound like some of our family members, don't it? Sound like your preacher. Uh-oh. Eli left them right on in position, just like they was. Instead of saying, look here, y'all are my sons. These reports that I'm getting back, I can't tolerate that. I'm stripping you out of your position. That's what Eli should have done. And if you're a pastor looking at this video and you got sons and daughters messing up, God is going to hold you very accountable for allowing your seeds and you to destroy people in the church. You got a lot of innocent people in the church. Got a lot of people, children, who don't even know no better. You letting the flock be harmed. Well, as I close, y'all, you saw what happened to Eli and his sons at the end. Now, JT don't wish nothing bad on nobody. But once again, I say this out of love. It ain't about your family. Most musicians I know, minister of music, are stuck at their family church. And what's sad is they see the wrong, they know what's wrong, but yet they continue to play faithfully and stay in the mess because that's my daddy, that's my uncle, that's my grandma, that's my family. I'm going to say this out of love. The hell with family. Why do I say that? Because that's where they're on their way. Do you want to go to hell with your family like that? Or do you want to follow Christ? Do you want to wind up in the kingdom? Or do you want to wind up in the lake of fire? Remember, Eli's sons were considered wicked. We got plenty wicked family members in position. God bless you. God keep you. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace.